Dear friends, today I want to talk to you in the most honest way I can. Recently, every time you stand up from bed in the morning, have you ever felt your legs become so heavy, as if they were weighed down with lead, your feet icy cold, as if they had been soaked in freezing water, and in your mind, there is a very real fear that whispers, "What if I slip and fall? What if I break a bone and end up stuck in one place or in a wheelchair?" After the age of 60, poor blood circulation is not just something that feels uncomfortable anymore. It can actually triple your risk of falling, which means that just one brief moment of losing your balance can be enough to completely change your life. The sad thing is that many people think that this is simply a normal part of getting old, so they quietly endure it and tell themselves that because they are old, they have no choice but to accept it. But today I want to offer you a very different perspective. Not everything is caused by aging accidentally showing up at your door. A very large part of the problem comes from the fact that the blood flow going down to your legs is being squeezed and choked little by little every single day. The good news is that we can open that water valve again using simple things that might already be sitting in your own kitchen without you even realizing it. In this video, I am going to help you clearly picture what is actually happening inside the blood vessels in your legs after the age of 60, why some people, just a few hours after drinking the right type of drink, can feel their feet become warmer, less numb, and less heavy. And more importantly, I will rank 10 different drinks from the worst to the best, so that you know exactly which ones are a waste of money and which ones are truly strong enough to help your blood vessels widen by about 30 to 50% and significantly improve circulation in your legs. The drink that holds the #1 spot on this list is very likely already in your kitchen. The problem is that up until now, most of us have been drinking it the wrong way. If you stay with me until the end of this video, I believe you will never look at the glass you drink in the morning the same way again. What is happening inside your legs after 60? To understand why just a single glass of the right drink can make your legs feel warmer and your steps more stable, we need to look inside your blood vessels. Imagine the network of blood vessels carrying blood from your heart down to your legs as a system of interstate highways. When you were younger, those highways were wide, the road surface was smooth, the traffic flowed easily no matter how many cars there were, and blood moved from your heart all the way down to each toe without any trouble. But after the age of 60, there are two things happening inside your body at the same time. First, those roads begin to narrow and harden. The walls of your blood vessels become stiff and gradually lose their elasticity. The inner channel of the vessel is no longer soft and round like before. Instead, it becomes rough and tight, like a narrow alley that has been squeezed smaller and smaller, so the blood has a very hard time finding its way through. Second, your body produces less of an extremely important molecule called nitric oxide. You can think of it as the path-opening molecule. Its job is to send a signal telling your blood vessels to relax, soften, and open wider, so that blood can flow more easily. The problem is that after the age of 60, your body may produce about 70% less nitric oxide than it did when you were younger. When this path-opening molecule drops sharply, your blood vessels tend to clamp down, squeeze tighter, become harder and narrower, and the blood flow going down to your legs becomes choked, just like a highway during rush hour when there has been an accident and the cars are piled up without being able to move forward. When circulation to the legs is being squeezed like that, what you feel on the outside is not only cold feet, especially at night, but also tight and heavy calves after just a few steps, painful nighttime cramps, tingling in your toes like needles pricking into them, and the strange sensation that thousands of tiny ants are crawling under your skin. Small scratches on your shins suddenly take an unusually long time to heal. And there is another very quiet enemy at work as well. That is the formation of tiny little blood clots called microclots that can start to appear inside the very small blood vessels under the skin. You cannot see them and you do not feel them right away, but they silently block those tiny alleys more and more, day after day, causing the blood flow to your skin, your nerves, and your muscles to decrease just a little more each day. That is why, at the same age, some people can still walk steadily with warm feet, while others feel aching, burning, and fear of falling after just a few laps around the house. Why drink more water and elevate your legs is not enough. During your follow-up visits, your doctor may have told you to try to drink more water, walk more, lie down, and elevate your legs when they feel tired, or take a little aspirin to thin your blood. All of that advice is not wrong at all. It is similar to putting a few extra fans in a hot room. The fans will blow air around, make you feel a little more comfortable, and help the air move a bit, but if the air conditioner is broken, the room will still be hot and suffocating. When we talk about circulation, that air conditioner is the nitric oxide system in your body. If all we do is drink more water, elevate our legs, and walk more without addressing the root problem, which is that the nitric oxide production system is collapsing, then the blood vessels remain hard and narrow, and the blood flow to the legs is still being choked. The problem is not that you are not trying or not taking care of yourself. The real issue is that your effort is unintentionally focused more on the leaves and branches than on the roots. If your body no longer has enough of those path-opening molecules, then everything you adjust on the outside is just like rearranging a few fans while the central cooling system is still shut down. That is why, if we truly want to change circulation in the legs, we cannot stop at simply easing the symptoms. We have to find a way to give the body the right raw materials so that it can restart its own nitric oxide factory. The principle of drinks, nitric oxide, blood vessels opening up. The good news for you is that your body, even after the age of 60, still has the ability to produce nitric oxide. That ability has not disappeared. It is just missing the right materials to operate properly. This is exactly where the drinks we are about to discuss step into the story, like tanks of raw materials being pumped back into the factory. Certain drinks, especially those made from vegetables and fruits, contain a lot of natural nitrate, along with compounds like flavonoids, anthocyanins, and powerful antioxidants. When you drink them, your body starts a very basic but incredibly helpful chain of reactions. The beneficial bacteria on the surface of your tongue convert nitrate into nitrite. Then the acidic environment in your stomach converts nitrite into nitric oxide. The newly formed nitric oxide enters your bloodstream, reaches the walls of your blood vessels, and sends a signal that tells them to relax, soften, and widen, just like when a highway is expanded and new lanes are opened. When that happens, blood flow to your legs can increase by about 30 to 60% over a relatively short period of time, sometimes just a few hours. Your feet begin to feel less cold. The heaviness and tightness in your calves gradually decrease. Over the long term, when this is maintained regularly, the small blood vessels are trained again to expand and contract properly. The nerves in your legs are better nourished, and the tissues receive enough oxygen and nutrients. The risk of falling because your legs are weak, because you have lost sensation, or because you feel unsteady on your feet drops significantly. However, not every glass you drink has that kind of power. Some drinks barely do anything for leg circulation. Some work reasonably well, but come with a lot of sugar and a high price tag. And there are a few that are truly lifesavers for your blood vessels while still being very affordable. That is why we need a clear ranking instead of relying on hearsay. Introducing the ranking. So, in the rest of this video, I am going to walk you through 10 different drinks and rank them from number 10 to number 1 based on how useful they are for circulation in your legs after the age of 60, using a scale from 2 out of 10 to 10 out of 10. The ones at the bottom of the list are not completely useless, but their main role is to keep the system from getting worse rather than being strong enough to turn weak circulation into truly strong circulation. The group in the middle includes drinks that do have real benefits, but they are limited by high sugar content, the potential to raise blood sugar, or a cost that is too high to maintain over the long term. The drinks at the top of the list are the ones that activate nitric oxide very powerfully, help your blood vessels widen clearly, and send more blood down to your legs in a short amount of time, with solid scientific evidence behind them. Before we dive into each specific drink, I would like to invite you to make your own guess. If you had to choose one drink to be the king of leg circulation, which one do you think it would be? Some people will say beet juice. Others will think of celery juice. Some will lean toward a green smoothie. You can hold that answer in your mind or even write it down somewhere, and then go with me from number 10 all the way to number 1 to see whether your guess was right. Weak group, foundational but not enough. We will start at number 10, the simplest and most familiar of all, plain water. Drinking enough water every day keeps your blood from becoming too thick, makes it easier for your heart to pump, and helps every organ in your body run more smoothly. When your body is dehydrated, your blood becomes thicker and more sluggish, the flow slows down, and your circulation gets worse. However, plain water does not contain nitrate. It does not trigger nitric oxide, and it does not bring in any powerful antioxidants that could really change the condition of blood vessels that are already stiff and narrow. Water mainly helps keep the system from getting worse, the same way that keeping a minimum amount of oil in an engine prevents it from burning out, but does not make that engine run more powerfully. Plain water is a non-negotiable foundation. You still need to drink about 6 to 8 glasses of water a day to keep your body from falling into dehydration, but if you expect plain water alone to warm up your feet and noticeably improve circulation in your legs, that is not a realistic expectation. It might even cause you to overlook other important solutions. That is why I only give plain water a score of 2 out of 10 when it comes to improving circulation in the legs. It is necessary, but absolutely not enough on its own. In the number 9 spot, we have green tea. Green tea has long been praised as a health-friendly drink, rich in antioxidants, supportive of brain function, and able to slightly boost metabolism. For your blood vessels, green tea does have benefits, but mainly at a slow and mild level. The catechin compounds in green tea help reduce inflammation in the vessel walls and lessen damage over time, which can slightly improve the ability of those vessels to expand and contract. The problem is that these changes require consistent use over many weeks, or even months before you really feel them. It is not the kind of drink where you sip it in the morning and your feet feel warm by the evening. On top of that, many people brew their tea with water that is far too hot, boiling hard, which unintentionally damages and significantly reduces the amount of helpful catechins. Some people who are sensitive to caffeine may experience a racing heart, restlessness, or even some degree of blood vessel constriction. For these reasons, I still consider green tea a good part of a healthy lifestyle overall, but if your main goal is warmer feet and faster improvement in leg circulation after the age of 60, green tea is not your strongest weapon. I give green tea a score of 3 out of 10 for the specific goal of improving circulation in the legs. In the number 8 position, we have tart cherry juice. Compared with plain water and green tea, tart cherry juice begins to show more positive signals for the vascular system. This juice contains a lot of anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that help the vessel walls become less stiff and easier to relax, which allows blood flow to improve. Some studies have reported that after several weeks of regular use, tart cherry juice can improve blood flow by close to 20%. That sounds very appealing at first, but when we look more closely, 3 major problems appear. First, this juice is usually loaded with sugar. A single glass can contain dozens of grams of sugar, which is not ideal at all for people over 60, especially those with diabetes or prediabetes. Second, chronically high blood sugar is one of the main destroyers of blood vessels and can undo a good portion of the benefits that anthocyanins provide. Third, good quality tart cherry juice that is pure and not watered down is often quite expensive, and if you drink it regularly every month, the cost is far from small. If you really enjoy this juice, you can use it in a smarter way by diluting it with water at a ratio of 1 part juice to 3 parts water and drinking it in the morning rather than making it your main daily drink for circulation. With all of its pros and cons, I give tart cherry juice a score of 4 out of 10 for improving leg circulation after the age of 60. Average group, moderate effect, with conditions. In the number 7 spot, we have pomegranate juice. Pomegranate is a very interesting fruit when it comes to vascular health. Pomegranate juice contains many powerful antioxidants that can protect nitric oxide from being destroyed too quickly by free radicals, which helps extend the working time of this path-opening molecule. Some studies have found that regularly drinking pure pomegranate juice can increase blood flow in certain areas of the body by more than 20% and reduce plaque buildup in the arteries over the long term. However, pomegranate juice has to face 2 very familiar enemies: sugar and cost. Many products on the market contain a very high amount of sugar, even more than tart cherry juice, and chronically high sugar levels damage the blood vessels themselves. At the same time, pure pomegranate juice with no added sugar is often quite expensive if you plan to drink it every day for a long time. If you want to take advantage of pomegranate's benefits, choose a 100% juice with no added sugar, dilute it with some water, and use a modest amount as a supportive addition rather than a main drink. For leg circulation, I give pomegranate juice a score of 5 out of 10. It works fairly well, but it is not the most practical or optimal choice for most older adults if used long-term. At number 6, we meet a very interesting candidate, a drink made from pure cocoa powder. When people hear the word cocoa, many immediately think of sweet cocoa mixes that come in packets full of sugar, condensed milk, and heavy cream. But the kind of cocoa we are talking about here is completely different. This is pure, unsweetened cocoa powder mixed with hot water or an unsweetened plant-based milk. Pure cocoa is rich in flavonoids, compounds that help the body increase its production of nitric oxide and improve the ability of blood vessels to relax and widen. Many meta-analyses have shown that using pure cocoa can improve circulation by about 20 to 25% in certain groups of people. The interesting thing is that this effect can be felt relatively quickly. Just a few hours after drinking, your legs may feel a little warmer and the sensation of tingling may ease slightly. However, there is a challenge in return. Pure cocoa powder is very bitter if you do not add any sugar. If you add a lot of sugar or honey to make it more pleasant, you fall right back into the cycle of high blood sugar that damages your vessels. The smart way to use it is to take about 0.7 to 1.1 ounces, which is about 20 to 30 grams, of pure cocoa powder per day. Mix it with hot water or unsweetened almond milk. And if you want some sweetness, add a small amount of stevia or monk fruit instead of sugar. When prepared correctly, this can be a useful tool for leg circulation, but because it is difficult to drink and easy to ruin with sugar, I give pure cocoa a score of 6 out of 10. In the number 5 spot, we have watermelon juice. When you hear the name, you might think it is just a refreshing summer fruit drink, but for circulation, watermelon is actually quite a powerful weapon. Watermelon contains a lot of L-citrulline, an amino acid that your body can convert into nitric oxide. A glass of watermelon juice can provide about 1,000 milligrams, which is about 1 gram of L-citrulline, a high enough amount to make a difference in your blood vessels. Some studies have shown that regularly consuming watermelon can improve blood vessel function by about 25 to 30% after a few weeks. People who use it often report that just a few hours after drinking, their feet begin to feel warmer and the heavy, tight feeling in their calves starts to fade over the course of a week. One big advantage of watermelon juice is that it tastes good and is easy to drink, and the natural sugar in watermelon is partly balanced by its high water and fiber content, so its impact on blood sugar is not as sharp as many concentrated fruit juices. However, watermelon depends heavily on the season. In many places, it is not easy to find good watermelon all year round, and the cost can add up if you want to maintain a daily watermelon juice habit. Because of that, while it is very worthwhile to use when it is in season, it is difficult to turn it into a year-round routine. Taking all of this into account, I give watermelon juice a score of 7 out of 10 for supporting circulation in the legs. Strong group, real game changers. Now we step into the group of drinks that are truly powerful and can noticeably change circulation in your legs when they are used correctly and consistently. In the number 4 position, we have hibiscus tea. The hibiscus flowers you often see blooming bright red in the garden when dried and steeped in hot water become a tea with a beautiful deep red color, a gently tart taste, and a very pleasant flavor when brewed well. Hibiscus tea can help lower blood pressure moderately, reduce the pressure on the vessel walls, and improve the function of the endothelium, the thin inner lining of your blood vessels. When that inner lining is healthier, the vessels can expand and contract more easily as needed, which improves blood flow. Some studies have reported that hibiscus tea can reduce blood pressure by several points and improve blood flow by around 30% if it is consumed regularly for several weeks. People who stick with this tea often say that after about 10 to 14 days, they have far fewer calf cramps, less tingling in their toes, and they feel lighter and more flexible when walking around the house. One big advantage of hibiscus tea is that it is very inexpensive, easy to find as dried tea bags, simple to brew, and easy to maintain as a habit. You only need to use 2 tea bags, steep them in hot water for about 10 minutes, and drink this twice a day, in the morning and in the afternoon. If you want a little sweetness, you can add a bit of stevia instead of sugar. One important note is that if you are taking medication for high blood pressure, you should talk with your doctor before drinking large amounts of hibiscus tea on a regular basis, because it can lower your blood pressure further. With this level of strength and value, I give hibiscus tea a score of 8 out of 10. The number 3 spot belongs to celery juice. Celery once became a trend online with many exaggerated claims attached to it. But if we set aside the overblown promises and focus only on circulation, we have to admit that celery juice is a very respectable tool. Celery contains a good amount of natural nitrate, as well as some compounds that can slightly reduce inflammation. When it is juiced and consumed on an empty stomach, the nitrate from celery is converted into nitric oxide, helping the blood vessels open wider so that blood can flow more easily. A glass of celery juice of about 16 ounces, which is about 470 milliliters, can increase blood flow by about 35 to 40% within a few hours, according to some data. Many people who use this juice regularly report that their feet feel warmer and the heavy, achy feeling in their calves decreases clearly after 1 to 2 weeks. To use celery juice, you only need 4 to 5 large stalks of celery, washed thoroughly and juiced, then drink it in the morning on an empty stomach, avoiding mixing in too many other ingredients so that you do not dilute its effect. The downside of celery juice is that its flavor is very green, slightly salty and somewhat sharp, which many people do not find pleasant at first. On top of that, the work of juicing, cleaning the machine, and preparing the vegetables makes many people hesitant to maintain it for a long time. Even so, its strength for circulation is hard to deny, so I give celery juice a score of 8.5 out of 10. In the number 2 position is the arugula smoothie. At first glance, this leafy green looks like any other salad vegetable, but if you look at its nitrate content, it is truly a powerhouse in the world of leafy greens. Just 2 cups of fresh arugula contain close to 0.02 ounces, which is about 500 milligrams, of nitrate, a very high dose compared with many other vegetables. When you blend arugula together with some fruits such as blueberries and banana, the sharp peppery taste of the greens is softened by the fruit, turning it into a smoothie that is easier to drink while still delivering an extremely rich load of nitrate. Research on nitrate-rich leafy greens like arugula shows that consistent use can increase blood flow by around 40% after 2 weeks, which in turn helps reduce cramps, reduce numbness, and increase walking endurance. Many people say that after a few weeks of sticking with an arugula smoothie, they can walk for longer periods with fewer stops, and climbing stairs feels less exhausting. A simple recipe is to use 2 cups of arugula, 1 cup of blueberries, half a banana, and 1 cup of unsweetened almond milk. Blend it until smooth and drink it right away, because the nitrate level will gradually decline if it sits too long. The only reason this arugula smoothie does not take the #1 spot is practicality. It requires more preparation, a steady supply of fresh, clean greens, and not everyone is willing to drink a green smoothie regularly every single day. Even so, in terms of pure power for circulation, I give the arugula smoothie a score of 9 out of 10. The king, beetroot juice. Now it is time to meet the king of leg circulation, beetroot juice. Beets are one of the richest natural sources of nitrate that you can easily turn into a drink. A glass of beet juice of about 8 fluid ounces, which is about 240 milliliters, can contain roughly 0.01 to 0.02 ounces, which is about 300 to 400 milligrams, of nitrate, an ideal amount to strongly activate nitric oxide in your body. What makes beet juice stand out from other options is the combination of fast results, strong effects, and realistic day-to-day maintainability. Many studies on older adults show that just 2 to 3 hours after drinking beet juice, blood flow in the legs can increase by about 30 to 50%, along with a reduction in arterial stiffness and an increase in walking endurance. When it is used consistently for about 10 to 15 days, many people report a clear reduction in calf pain and tightness, less heaviness, less numbness, smoother steps, and the ability to climb a few flights of stairs without feeling as out of breath as before. The way to use beet juice for maximum effect is actually quite simple. You only need to drink 1 glass of about 8 fluid ounces, which is about 240 milliliters, of beetroot juice every morning on an empty stomach at least 30 minutes before a meal, so that your body can absorb and convert the nitrate as efficiently as possible. When you buy bottled beet juice, you should choose one that lists only pressed beetroot as the ingredient, with no added sugar, no artificial coloring, and no preservatives. If you have a juicer, you can make it at home by using about 3 to 4 medium-sized beets, washing them thoroughly, peeling them, and juicing them. There are 2 small things you should know in advance so you do not become alarmed. First, after drinking beet juice, your urine or stool may take on a slightly pink or reddish tint. This sounds frightening, but in most cases it is simply the natural pigment from the beets being excreted, and it is completely harmless. Second, beets contain oxalate, so if you have a history of kidney stones, you should talk with your doctor before deciding to drink beet juice every day for a long period of time. With all of its advantages in strength, speed, and practical use, I give beetroot juice a perfect score of 10 out of 10. And consider it the #1 drink for supporting leg circulation after the age of 60. A 1-day plan for leg circulation after walking through the entire ranking. The most practical question you might have right now is, so what should I drink each day? When should I drink it? And how much? The answer is that you do not need to drink all 10 types, and in fact you should not try to, because it would be confusing and very hard to maintain. The important thing is to choose a few of the strongest options that fit your health condition and your daily life, and then turn them into a stable habit. A simple plan for one day might look like this. In the morning, right after waking up and about 30 minutes before breakfast, you drink 1 glass of beet juice of about 8 fluid ounces, which is about 240 milliliters. This will be your daily foundation for circulation, the first nitric oxide boost that helps widen your blood vessels and send more blood down to your legs for the day. In the afternoon, you can choose one more strong drink as a booster, such as a cup of hibiscus tea if your blood pressure is in a safe range, or a glass of celery juice if you can tolerate the green flavor and have a juicer at home. There is no need to drink both at the same time. Choose the one that feels easier for you to stick with. On 3 to 4 days each week, if you have the time and the means to prepare it, you can add an arugula smoothie at lunchtime or in the late afternoon as an extra upgrade of natural nitrate for your blood vessels. If you stay consistent with a routine like this, after about 3 days, many people start to feel their feet becoming warmer and less icy at night. After 1 week, nighttime cramps and tightness in the calves often decrease clearly. From 2 to 4 weeks onward, you may notice that you can walk longer before feeling tired, your steps feel more stable, and that sinking feeling of fear when you stand up, turn around, or move a little faster starts to fade. That is when you will realize that you have truly done something meaningful for your own legs. 5 mistakes that make these drinks less effective. Before we finish, I want to remind you of a few very common mistakes that can significantly reduce the impact of all your efforts to drink the right drinks. The first mistake is drinking these nitrate-rich drinks together with a large meal. When your stomach is already full of food, the absorption of nitrate and its conversion into nitric oxide slows down and becomes less efficient, just like trying to pour more water into a pipe that is already full. The best approach is to drink them on an empty stomach and then wait at least 30 minutes before eating. The second mistake is using a strong antibacterial mouthwash immediately after drinking. Many powerful mouthwashes cannot tell the difference between harmful bacteria and beneficial bacteria. They will kill the good bacteria in your mouth that are actually helping you convert nitrate into nitrite, which is a crucial step in the creation of nitric oxide. If you need to rinse your mouth, it is better to wait a while after you drink. The third mistake is choosing bottled versions that are packed with sugar, syrups, preservatives, and artificial colors. Too much sugar, especially added sugar, not only cancels out the protective effects of nitrate and antioxidants on your blood vessels, but also directly damages the endothelium, the inner lining of your vessels, making them stiffer over time. The fourth mistake is believing that drinking these drinks for a few days or 1 week is enough for the whole year. Remember that your blood vessels are like your teeth. You cannot brush your teeth like crazy for 1 week and then skip brushing for months. These drinks are the same. They only fully work when they are part of a regular habit, not just a short-term campaign. The final mistake, and perhaps the most dangerous, is deciding on your own to cut back or stop the medications that your doctor prescribed simply because you feel you are drinking a lot of circulation-friendly drinks. These drinks are supportive tools, not replacements for medication, and every decision about changing the dose or type of medicine needs to be made with your doctor, especially if you are living with chronic conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, or high cholesterol. Dear friends, over many years you have probably heard more than a few sayings like, "Poor circulation is just something you have to accept when you are old," or "Cold, numb feet and difficulty walking are simply the fate of older people." Those sentences may sound reasonable at first, but if you look carefully at what nutritional and vascular science is telling us, you will see that they are not the whole truth. You are not a broken machine, and your body is not beyond saving. In many cases, your body is simply missing the right raw materials it needs in order to repair itself and function the way it was designed to. When we give our body back foods and drinks that are rich in natural nitrate and rich in antioxidants that protect our blood vessels, we are not blindly fighting against aging. We are simply giving our vessels what our grandparents' generation used to have in abundance in their traditional meals: roots, vegetables, leafy greens, and fresh foods. Our current generation eats a lot of processed foods and drinks many sugary beverages, while lacking the very vegetables that can truly nourish the vascular system. The result is that after the age of 60, many people suddenly realize that their feet are always cold, their steps are always unsteady, and a single fall is enough to turn everything upside down. That is why I would like to invite you to take part in a small challenge that can bring a very big change over the next 30 days. The challenge is simple. Every morning, drink 1 glass of beetroot juice of about 8 fluid ounces, which is about 240 milliliters, on an empty stomach. If you do not have beets, you can use celery juice, hibiscus tea, or an arugula smoothie instead, depending on your situation and your health. Before you start, take a few minutes to really look at your legs. Notice the skin color, the amount of swelling, and how heavy or light they feel when you walk a few laps around your home. You can also write down how your legs feel each day. Ask yourself whether your feet are freezing cold at night, whether you have frequent cramps, and how far you can walk before you have to stop because of fatigue. After 30 days, come back and compare. Are your feet still as cold as before? Are the cramps still as frequent? Has the distance you can walk before needing a break increased? Has that anxious feeling when you move faster or change direction started to ease? If you are ready to begin, you can quietly say one simple sentence to yourself: I am starting today. Just that one line, repeated each morning as you hold your glass, can serve as a reminder that you are actively protecting your legs, protecting your independence and your freedom to move, instead of sitting still and waiting for unexpected falls to happen. If you find the information in this video helpful, you can share it with family and friends who are dealing with cold feet, numbness, and difficulty walking, so they can have a chance to try these changes as well. And if you would like to see more videos about exercises, nutrition, and lifestyle habits that help people over 60 live healthier, live longer, and live more peacefully, you can subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to meet again in future videos. Thank you for taking the time to listen. I truly hope that over the next 30 days, your legs will become warmer, stronger, and more confident with every step you take.